Hello, traders and investors. It's Rod with Powell Group. Welcome back on the Pursuit of Wealth for another daily market recap. And today is Monday, February 8th. And in today's video, we're going to discuss some news and events. There wasn't a whole lot. I did a video on Tesla buying 1.5 billion in Bitcoin earlier on today. So if you want to learn a little bit more about that, you can check that out. But we'll go through some overall broader markets, and the stock of the day today is going to be OGI, so Organigram. We'll look at the Organigram chart in detail, and then we'll go over the US and Canadian cannabis space as well. I'm going to do one video today and just condense everything together, and I'll go through it a little bit faster here today. So before we jump in, make sure to smash the like and consider subscribing to the channel. And as a reminder, I did break my hand, so just bear with me as I power through this. Tesla buys 1.5 billion in Bitcoin and plans to accept it as payment. So this is probably going to create even more speculation about who's going to buy next, what corporation, what billionaire. So maybe there's billionaires that were kind of, trying to keep the price down, so they were holding that information. Maybe they just say, the heck with it, and they start letting people know that they are buying as well. And then maybe we see there's already speculation and news articles going around about potential of Apple offering cryptocurrencies and buying Bitcoin as well. So we'll see if other Fortune 500 companies start to add it to their balance sheet. But taking a look at Bitcoin here, we just hit a brand new all-time high, and we didn't get much follow through. So it's just coming back, potentially setting a double top. But if we can confirm here a little mini bull flag on the 15-minute, and then we're knocking on the door of all-time highs. Ethereum trying to bounce here, but we saw the Bitcoin dominance go up while altcoins were going down here. So we'll see if that correlation shifts, or if we see Bitcoin pull back while altcoins catch up. That could happen as well. That seems to be what the most likely scenario is at the moment. But Ethereum very close to its all-time high, and we could potentially see the two number one and number two cryptos go head to head in an all-time high blue sky breakout duo. So I don't know about you, but I'd love to see that. So taking a look at the dollar here, the dollar is weak, and we started daily consolidation. And we knew that when we broke the low of Friday. So you can see here, we have EMA 12 there as a potential bounce point, but at this point, we could be a daily bull flag, but no real daily support down until 90.04. Bull's got tons of room to form a daily high or low, and no major red flags at this point, but dollar definitely showing some strength, strongest it's been in a very long time. We had EMA 12 there on the weekly that we were pulling back from, now trying to find a base of support. So we'll see if bulls can continue to new highs, and we'll potentially test the 92 area. So I do want to highlight, I'll go through this a little quicker today. XLE was on fire today, the energy ETF, and that's likely due off the back of US oil strength up over $58. So I want to show the monthly chart here just to point this out. I've pointed it out a few times, but just want to remind everybody that if we go back to the all-time high, this resistance line has been spot on about 5 times in a row now. So we'll see if it can add another one to the record, but we are getting very, very close. It's up around the $60 area, and we're only $2 away. We haven't formed a monthly high or low since back here on the monthly bull flag down at 33.67. We do have an EMA 12 and 26 bull cross potentially lining up, but we are getting a little overextended. Monthly RSI is not overbought, but the weekly is, and we haven't consolidated on the weekly either since 33.67. So again, on the daily, haven't consolidated in the last 7 days. So we need to be on the lookout of a potential reversal. Again, not calling any tops, but just keep it in the back of your mind. And just so everybody's aware, video is going to be a little bit longer today, obviously, because I'm doing everything in one, crypto, MJ, and the broader market. So I'll put some timestamps in the description as well so that you can reference that. But EMA 12 on the hourly has been a nice visual guide as well. We dipped below it, but never closed a candle since all the way back here at $55. So if we close a candle below EMA 12, that'll be notable. And if we close below EMA 26, then that will be a very significant momentum shift. But daily bounce is underway. So as long as we maintain these higher lows, if we lose the low of the previous candle tomorrow or the day after that, then daily consolidation is underway. Or if we lose the 4-hour uptrend or confirm a 4-hour downtrend. So that's pretty much all I have for you guys. Let's take a look at gold and silver. So silver was pulling back and was a bit stronger than gold today. But you can see into the end of the close there, when the stock market closed just after, we started to see some sell-off in silver and gold and now trying to bounce. But silver is definitely showing some signs of weakness and finding resistance at the EMA 12. And gold standing out as a little stronger. And we'll jump over to SPY. So it's pretty much the same deal with most names. So very similar to oil. As soon as we lose the low of the previous daily candle, then daily consolidation will be underway. Or if we lose the hourly uptrend, so that'll be key. And just keep in mind that we could drop about 5.5% from here and still just be looking for a daily higher low. We were coming off a daily downtrend. So bulls are pleased that we just went straight to all-time highs, V-shaped recovery. Impressive. But now we need to be on the lookout for a potential reversal here at some point. Could happen tomorrow, could happen in a week. Who knows? But when we do pull back, bulls have a ton of room, and we'll see how much it could favor a daily bull flag, or maybe it favors an equilibrium, a broader range and tightening range. So same thing with QQQ and most of these sectors. But again, XLE was on fire today. VIX tried to get the daily bounce going, but didn't break the high of yesterday. And resistance is 22.16. We got as high as 22.07. So that's going to be extremely important tomorrow. If we do break those levels or open higher, we could see a fairly significant move on the VIX. So taking a look at some individual tickers. So we'll just move through these fairly quickly today. So on the bear list, we had AMC, GME, and NGA and Dash. Zoom also down over 2%. So we're seeing the short squeeze names that were targeted, seeing a lot of hype just completely leave the building and hasn't returned, and it might not return ever. So you need to be on the, excuse me, drink of water. My third video today, so voice is getting away from me. Sorry about that. So on the flip side of that, there could be a trade to be had. So GME, that monthly candle, just giving it all back. We do have EMA there, so you could enter off of support. We do have a couple support levels to be going off of. We just zoom in here. So we have 51.12 to go off of. So there's plays to be had in both directions. So again, seems like hype has definitely left the building on those names for the moment. Riot just exploded, coming off Bitcoin all-time high and Elon Musk news. DDD up over $50. So congrats to the bulls there. Crazy move from $4 just a few months ago. Just seems like everything's in a bubble right now. Wow. I've never seen anything like this. This is one crazy market. So shroom stocks, not really much going on there. MMED, I highlighted that a while ago in a few videos ago that we could see a potential entry around 337. We hit a double bottom, and if you set your stop below that, you would have been up over 15% at this point, I think. So nice trade there and nice dip buy for the MMED bulls. So moving over to the Canadian MJ sector. So OGI, what a day. Congrats to the bulls first and foremost. And also want to mention that we have CGC earnings tomorrow pre-market. I did a video on whether or not we should hold through earnings and what to expect. So you can check that out for more detailed information on that. But everything's the way we react, the way the bulls react or the bears react to these earnings, if they beat or miss, that's going to likely dictate either daily continuation or daily consolidation. And some names standing out better than others. OGI very, very strong. So tomorrow favoring a daily inside bar with this setup, and we would have to pull back from the close of today to start daily consolidation tomorrow. Would be over a 25% drop. So probably going to be an inside bar and tightening range, but I'm definitely skeptical of Canopy's earnings. I'm slight bearish lean towards those. But again, you can check out my video for a little bit more in-depth analysis and my thoughts on what to expect. So OGI, Xena, T-God leading the move up, and High Tide, another honorable mention. Tilray, ACB, APHA, SNDL, Hexo. SNDL was consolidating and saw a nice pop there into the end of the day, it looks like. Yes, it did. So nice 5-minute uptrend there into the end of the day and recouped a lot of that lost time compared to its peers. So moving on, we'll take a look at OGI. So OGI, no major red flags at this point. You can see we had a daily inside bar that broke bullish. So if you were looking for entries, that could have been a nice play there off of that inside bar bull break. So 258 was the resistance. And if you would have entered with your stop below that inside bar, below support, it would have been upward of 30%. And now we're extended. And I know a lot of people were asking this morning on entries, and I said to be on the lookout. Things could consolidate, but it went the complete opposite. We saw a huge run up just all day long. And sometimes that can happen, but not the most likely scenario here. We gap up, and EMA 12 on the 5-minute was a nice visual guide and support. Once we lost it, we tested EMA 26 and we never lost it. We briefly dipped below it here, but just a nice rock solid support all day long. And it was just all about the 5-minute uptrend. And we held that higher low there at 309. We dipped below by about a penny, and ultimately just an equilibrium with a high, low, lower, high, higher, low, bull break back into the equilibrium, and just fairly choppy here into the end of the day. But again, it's really going to depend on the CGC earnings. So on the daily time frame, again, likely expect a daily inside bar tomorrow and a tightening range. But this weekly chart, you can see we had the bull cross of the EMAs. We are overextended. We're weekly overbought. Monthly is yet to be overbought. We do have earnings coming up in April, so that's a while away, the end of April. They just reported their earnings and it was less than great. And I had some people ask, like, well, you know, don't be too so sure about CGC. Even if they report bad earnings, they might run up, you know, like crazy. Look at OGI. But the difference is with OGI, we're into their earnings, they were at 52-week low and they didn't run hundreds of %. So now they're just catching up to the sector and this US legalization hype. So Canopy, we'll just bring up the CGC chart, was the complete opposite. So it was at a 52-week high and we're going into earnings. So the harder we run, the more they have to crush. We had that bull cross here as well of the EMAs and on the monthly time frame. So it could be time to cool off some RSIs. Monthly not overbought, but weekly and daily are getting extended. And again, the daily no support from all the way down here to $24. We do have EMA 12 there. That's been rock solid at 33. So all eyes on CGC. Let me know if you think they're going to beat or miss expectations. So OGI on the week, I think they're gonna have maybe revenue comes in at a slight miss and maybe EPS in line, or a slight miss on both. That's what I'm putting my money on as if I were to bet. I'm not a betting man, but if I were, that's what I would bet on. So well above the 10-week moving average, but it's all the way down at $1.82, which is a long ways away. Stochastic and MACD are extremely bullish. So in terms of long-term indicators and trends, everything looks good. We do have the weekly resistance of the 200 weekly moving average. So we are right at that here, but we did close at the high of the day. So, at the high of this week so far, but obviously we'll want to close the end of the week at that high or above. So if we can close the week, even if we were to close the week just right here, that would be extremely bullish. but obviously a little bit concerning. If we can get above that, close the week above, and you're very long the stock, then you want to see it close above 330 or even 340 this week. And that should give you a lot of confidence swinging this, even though we are extended. But very, very strong chart at the moment over all of those weekly moving averages. So a very impressive move off of its lows on the daily time frame. Again, overbought, no daily support from all the way down here around the $1.62 range. And we did have a golden cross. So when we were in this daily uptrend and you were looking for entries, this is where you wanted to get an entry here on this daily high or low right on the golden cross, which is the 50-day crossing through the 200. We were still in an uptrend looking for daily higher lows. And even if you waited until we broke the resistance here at around $2 and $2 psychological, if you set a stop buy for over $2 and look to play that golden cross, that would have been another trade to be had as well. So it just depends on how much risk you're willing to take on, and if you're a patient bull or a patient bear or vice versa. So another thing to be on watch for is the 20 weekly moving average crossing through the 50 here. And also the VWAP is quite a ways down here at $1.70-ish, but be interesting to see how this plays out if we see more momentum or some news or anything like that potentially. Obviously, CGC is going to dictate the direction for most of the sector, but if we see individual news for individual stocks or individual companies, that could obviously run, inversely to the rest of the sector. And I'd be keeping an eye out for some news here on OGI. We see increasing bull volume here on the weekly. This looks real good, and there hasn't been a whole lot of fundamental change that I'm aware of. Maybe let me know in the comments below if there's anything that I missed. But anyways, we're going to move on. So MSOS, same thing as SPY, pretty much looks just like the SPY chart. We were in a daily downtrend and then just V-shape right back to all-time highs, and haven't formed a daily high or low now in 8 days, 9 days. So when we do pull back, we're in a daily uptrend. So we'll just be looking for a daily high or low compared to 40.33, which is over 20% away. So just make sure that you're prepared for a 5, 10, 15, 20% drop. And, don't be surprised if that happens. If you are long the stock, then great, no sweat, but just know that it could drop 5 to 10%. If that's not something that you're comfortable with, then it may be time, or if you're asking, should I take profits? It may be time to at least trim, take some off the table. Personally, I'm swinging, as we wrap up in summary, I'm swinging. I didn't swing any MSOS overnight based on how extended we are. And I'm also not comfortable with canopy earnings. Might spill, give some spillage over some negative spillage if they miss. So again, I didn't want to give back any profits. I was in MSOS from, I think, $47. And that's just in a couple of weeks. So very happy with those gains. I'm swinging some Xena, some KBEV. KBEV was up huge. This is something that I called out a while ago that a few people in our group followed me on this trade. So it was back here when we had support at 4 cents and we had this daily higher low at 5 cents. So from that entry, we're up over 100% on that call out that I gave a couple of weeks ago. And also Xena, I mentioned this a couple of weeks ago, and quite a few people in the group followed me as well. So kudos to you guys and shout out to you guys who followed me on that trade. But as you can see, we were looking for a daily coming off the low here, very similar, 4.5 cents up to 7 cents. And at one point today, these two stocks were both up 33.33%, which I found hilarious. But again, same setup. We had the daily higher low, EMA 12 support. As soon as we broke 7.5, we had the daily uptrend confirm. And from that, we've been up, we're up over 150%. So congrats to the bulls there. No red flags. What I did was I sold half of my Xena, half of my KBEV, and now I'm just essentially riding the profits. It's a free trade, and I will ride that into the sunlight. So I have no plan on selling those anytime soon. I'm still swinging some BAM as well. BAM is back down to 79 cents. So if you are interested in an entry, we have I believe the 100 weekly moving average and a few other supports there in the 79 to 80 cent range. We have support here as well on the daily down at 70 cents and EMA 26. So that's pretty much it for today. I did de-risk. I'm holding mostly cash, mostly short SPY and QQQ. So the tech sector in the S&P 500. I've got a little bit of Hexo, some Zena, some KBEV, some Hive. That's pretty much all I'm swinging into tomorrow. De-risking and just waiting to see how things play out after Canopy earnings. And like I said, with SPY likely overdue for daily consolidation, just taking a step back and taking the foot off the gas and reassessing. So with that, thanks again for joining us on the Pursuit of Wealth. And I'll put some timestamps in the description below. And make sure to smash the like. It shows me some support. Consider subscribing to the channel and tick the bell. You'll be notified when we go live tomorrow for another daily market recap. Take care, everyone, and have a great night.